On this edition of Cop Beat, we're talking about personal safety. Constable Steve Baker joins us to give us some tips for how to be safe in your everyday life. So let's talk about personal safety, Constable Baker, and what you need to keep in mind for yourself.
Absolutely. So the very foundation of personal safety, the best thing that you can ever walk away with is be aware and have a plan. You do those two things and everything else is going to be smooth sailing. We spend a lot of our time in our life walking around, exploring the world, but we get so focused on what's happening in our personal life or where I'm going or what I'm doing that we don't pay attention to what's going on around us, and we don't have that baseline. Right? There's every place that we go to, our home, our street, our work, the mall, the park, they all have a different level of weirdness to them. And what we need to do is we need to figure out where is that baseline normal or that baseline level of weirdness, and then when something stands out of that place, now I know I can see that's weird, and we can go from there. And so that becomes really, really important. Just being aware of what's normal, what's around you, what's going on, pay attention, right? Not walking around texting, not when I'm going for a run. I love to listen to my music, but maybe I'm taking my earphone out so I can at least hear what's going around. I'm looking ahead of me, looking around, and just being aware. After that, we need to have a plan. What am I going to do, right? And there's the concept of rising to the occasion is not a true concept. You will fall to your lowest level of preparation. And so what is that preparation? If I've never thought about what am I going to do if someone comes up and grabs me? What am I going to do if someone breaks into my home? What am I going to do if there's a fire in my home? Whatever it is, right? But whatever dangerous thing is out there, what am I going to do if this happens? And how am I going to respond to it safely for myself?
And now, speaking of preparation, you hear all the time about self-defense classes, personal safety classes. What is your advice when taking those classes and the best way to utilize them, I suppose?
Yes. There's some good and bads when you start taking classes. The good thing, obviously, is you're learning something, you're helping prepare yourself, and it's going to give you some more confidence. But one of the bad things that happens with some of these classes is that you go and you take this class, and it's a 2-hour, 4-hour, 8-hour class, whatever it is, and you spend that time and you do it. Then you go home and you never do it again. You never think about it again. And so you have somewhat of a false reality of how beneficial that is for you, because when something happens, if someone comes up and grabs onto you and you're under stress, you're going to resort back to your lowest level of preparation. That 8-hour class is not sufficient preparation, and to have that expectation that I'm going to be able to do my arm bar and I'm going to be able to do my knee strike and all that stuff is probably not going to happen. If you want to do a class, if you want to, whatever that be, if it's just a pure self-defense class, or you want to do some sort of mixed martial arts or some sort of martial art class at all, or boxing, or whatever the case might be, there's lots of options out there. Make sure that you do it regularly. That's all, once, twice a week minimum, where you're doing it over and over and over again, so that it becomes natural for you. You don't have to think about it anymore. It would be the same as walking. If someone comes up and grabs onto me, I know exactly what I'm going to do because I've done it 100 times already when I've been training. And so that becomes really important. Do your research and ask the instructor, what are you going to teach me? And ask them, are you going to be offering more than one class? Can I come back and recert on a regular basis, and all of that kind of stuff, because that will become important for you to develop that foundational core set.
Right. That's such great advice. Thank you so much, Constable Baker, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Stay tuned for more on Go right after this.